Today, we continue to study Greek grammar, demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjectives are this, that, these, and those. They are used to point out specific people or things. And then we are studying on the third one, John chapter 6, verse 29. Tuto. So tuto is this then, right? Because APD, demonstrative adjective, noun, nominative, singular. So since this is a singular, nominative is for subject, so this. And then the verb is the VIPA, verb, indicative, present active, third person singular. So third person singular nominative is this. So this is to ergon. So this is the nominative also. So nominative can become the subject or complement. So in this sentence, this is the complement. So this is the work. And then we have a genitive masculine singular definite article, noun genitive masculine singular, the God. When we look at the English Bible, in many different translations, and they do not specify this definite article. But that is very important, whether definite article exists or not. So whenever you see definite article God, which translate the God, right? But if there is no definite article, which is just God, that means it is a general terms. In case of God, when we go to the John chapter 1 verse 1, if you look at the right side, the Greek text, it shows two different God. If you look at here, pros, ton, theon. So pros is not with, we learn many times. Pros is the preposition accusative, as you see the PA as a parsing code, which translates as forward to, moving forward to the destination. So the word, which is the subject here, and then N is the VIIA, verb, indicative, imperfect. So imperfect is the actions started, but action did not complete yet. That is the imperfect. So the word is imperfect status, moving forward, walking forward to the God, to the God. So which means the word is imperfect status, moving forward to the God. So the word will become perfect in the God when it arrives at the destination. So in my beginning, NRK, the word is imperfect. Then when I complete the action, which means instead of arche, it called the telos when we go to the book of Revelation chapter 1 verse 8. So beginning, end. So when I'm in end, then the word becomes the perfect. And then next one, you see this God. This doesn't have the definite article. So this is the subject. The word exists imperfect. Again, BIIA. So the word exists imperfect God. Then when I become a perfect, which means when I am in the God, in the Father, in the only true God, then I become the Word, right? I become the Word. Then I become the God without definite article. Where is say that? When we go to the John chapter 10, verse 34, Jesus answered Jews, "Is it not written in your law, I said, you are gods?" If he called them God, if the Jehovah in the Old Testament, the Most High, called them gods, to whom the word of God came. So this one is the became, we correct this one, which is the ginomai verb. So when I become the word of God, then I am God. So whether there is the definite article or not, that makes the big different understanding in the sentence. Then here, John chapter 6:29, the God has the definite article, which means only true God. Then the God's work starting from my beginning, each one of human beings. Because God is working inside me. And Jesus also working inside me. When we go to the 2 Corinthians chapter 13, examine yourself as to whether you are in the faith. Test yourself. Do you not know yourself that Jesus Christ is in you? Jesus Christ was in Abraham. Jesus Christ was in first Adam. Jesus Christ was in Moses. Jesus Christ was in Jews. Jesus Christ is in me. Because Bible is the spiritual book and God is the spiritual being. It is beyond the time, beyond the space. The one working in the Adam, the one working in the Abraham, the one working in the Moses, is the same God is working in me. The one who will be born 100 years later, God is inside that person also. And the reason why not only Father and the Son is in me, so He can make us the gods, which is the, without having a definite article, God. That is the work of the God. That is the good work. So Father is the Spirit, the Son is the Spirit. And when I become a God, I become the last Adam that is called the life-giving Spirit. It takes 7 days. The day does not mean 24 hours that we are living in this world. The day means in the Bible is the day is the light. Light is the day. So Jesus is the true light. Jesus is the true day. That's why when we go to the 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, Jesus talking to us, Apostle Paul is talking to us. You are all sons of light, sons of the day. The day is the light, light is the day. So 7 days process, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through Genesis chapter 2 verse 3, that is the introduction. That is the work of the God, God's work. That introduction 7 days is expanding throughout the entire Bible. Then until the last class, we study Genesis chapter 1 verse 30, which is in this screen. And then 130 is talking about 6 days God's work. Then we study the first one, which is this one. For every goal of living of the earth, which is from here to here portion. So and is the conjunction right here, and then le is the preposition. You can translate for or to. So to is fine here, and then for is fine also here. So to or for, and then core is the every. So same as English right here. And then hayat, English translate as beast, but I translate is goal of living, because the last one is the top, which is the goal. And then high is the one living, which is a live. So the beast goal is what? To live, which means to survive. And not only the beast is the surviving goal of the earth. This is the earth, definite article, earth, right here, ha-aretz. And all living creature is the goal to live. We are not live to die, we are live to live. This is the 2416 strong number. Let's go to the dictionary. 2416. When we go to 2416, the pronunciation is high and alive. When we go to the BDB dictionary, living, alive as an adjective form. Living and alive. That's why I put living, goal of living of the earth. But if you look at that King James right here, as you can see how many different words they translated. We know as a Christian, most of Christian in continental USA entirely, the King James Bible is the most popular Bible read by the many churches. But this is the definition is the living and alive. But they are translating as beast. The beast is right here, right, as you see. And then many different words they translate, even congregation, even quick, running, even maintenance. This is an adjective form, as you see here. ADJ is an adjective, the form of the part of speech. So that's why we cannot translate as beast. We have to translate as living or alive. Then living, alive, goal is what? Of means the possession, and of means the starting point. So genitive concept is the possession and the starting point. So possessed by the earth. Then we start as the earthly being, and we born as the earthly body, and then based upon our study last class, we talking about the earthly house and heavenly house based upon the 2 Corinthians chapter 5. So whoever's living goal is of the earth instead of the heaven. And God has given every green herb as for food. But everyone's goal of living of the heaven, as we already learned, Genesis chapter 1 verse 29, God has given. And then we correct the translation here. Or herb sowing seed. Seed is the Christos. Seed is the truth of the God. And that is the food, the goal of living of the heaven. There's another one, the tree. So, fruit of tree, same thing, sowing seed. Then we study about the tree is the producer of knowledge. Advice giving the advice. That is the meaning of tree in the Hebrew. And then seed again is the Christos and the word of the God. That is for the food, the goal of living of the heaven. That's why 6th day, it divided by 2. As we learn from the John chapter 5. When we hear the voice of the Son of God, resurrection of life, resurrection of condemnation. Then Genesis chapter 1 verse 29, that is my 6th day. Whoever eating the herb sowing seed, and then fruit of tree sowing seed, they are moving forward to the resurrection of life. And they will become the life-giving spirit in the 7th day, who has the heavenly body. But here, 30 day we are studying, whoever eat every green herb for food, the first category is the goal of living of the earth instead of the heaven. Based upon this verse, what I eat determines who I am. If I'm eating the herb sowing seed, fruit of tree sowing seed, then I become the heavenly being, heavenly body, which we just saw from the John chapter 10, God's. Just like the natural world and worldly system, the spiritual world is also a matter of eat or to be eaten. What am I eating? And I am eaten by who? Am I eaten by the serpent? Am I eaten by the Christos? Those subjects we already discussed when we study Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. That is why in the past, we discussed the issue of eating in the Gospel of Thomas. I have a Gospel of Thomas here. On verse 7, he's talking about Jesus said, "Blessed is the lion which becomes man when consumed by man." Then here, the lion who is blessed. Then what is this lion then? And who is this lion? We went to the 1 Peter chapter 5. And verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Who are the one needs to be sober and vigilant? If you go a little up, the Apostle Peter is talking about you younger people. You younger people submit yourself to your elders. Because verse 1 is talking about the elders. Pros, Buteros. Who are the elders? We can come back to here when we go to the New Testament Hebrew chapter 11. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, for by it the elders obtained a good testimony. So the elder is the one, Abel. You see here, by faith Abel. Elder is the one by faith Enoch. Elder is the one by faith Noah. Elder is the one by faith Abraham. All those elders' life who possess the faith. What faith are we talking? The faith of the Christos Jesus. And they are the one, these elders are having the perfect faith, perfect knowledge. When we go to the Ephesians chapter 4, verse 13, we all come to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God. That called the perfect man. Perfect man is the one who possesses the faith of the Son of God, that is the Christos. Perfect man is the one who possesses the knowledge, that is the Son of God, Christos. When we little go up there, it called as the apostle, prophet, some evangelists, some pastors, and teachers. Their title is all different, but they are doing the same work, which is the edifying the body of Christos. They translate edifying, but oikodome is the building the body of the Christos. So instead of to become the earthly body, we have to become the heavenly body. Then heavenly body is the one who received from God herb sowing seed and fruit of trees sowing seed. But earthly house, earthly body, they become by eating green herb for food. Green herb for food. Because they are the one, their goal is to live in the earth instead of in the heaven. So, Gospel of Thomas is saying that the devil and the serpent and Satan, he is able to become the man. This man is the last Adam, life-giving spirit, not the first Adam. Because elder, we just saw, elder is the perfect man, elder is the last Adam, life-giving spirit. That is the Christos Jesus is in them, which we call born of Jesus in each of those elders and crucified together. We already see that, right? Apostle Paul even say that when we go to the Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. I have crucified with Christ. And even Galatians chapter 3, here says, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus was clearly portrayed among you as crucified. We correct this one, not among you, on the right side, and human, in you. And then not just crucified, VPRP, verb, participle, present perfect, passive. So, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christ, has been crucified in you. Not only chapter 3 and chapter 2:20, when we go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 24, those who are Christos, Christ, have crucified. So, crucified together, resurrect together. Living in the Christos Jesus, I become the body of Christos. So, roaring lion, the serpent, and Satan, if he consumed by the elders, consumed by the perfect man, consumed by the man here, perfect man, he becomes also last Adam. Roaring lion, devil, and Satan was in the Iscariot Judah, right? When we read John chapter 15, 16, 17, those places, Last Supper. And then Satan and serpent came into the heart of the Iscariot Judah, which means roaring lion is consumed him. Which is the second one? Cursed is the man, like Iscariot Judah. The lion consumes. So this man, eaten by the lion, like we just saw the 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. Be sober and vigilant. Those young men. The lion becomes man. So like Iscariot Judah is the one, the devil and Satan is consumed to him. So the lion becomes the Iscariot Judah. That's why the food is the important things. So 6th day is the day whether I am going to eat the herb sowing seed and fruit of tree sowing seed. Instead of that, the one we are eating, the one we are studying, Genesis 1:30, every core of living of the earth, they are nothing but to given by the Jehovah God, green herb for food. Then they are not able to become the heavenly body. They just remain as the mortal body. When we go to the Romans chapter 6, and here talking about crucified together and resurrect together. Verse 3, do you not know that as many of us were baptized into Christus Jesus, baptized into his death, which is born of Jesus and crucifixion with Jesus. Therefore we were buried with him, buried together. Shin dapto. Shin is the together, dapto is the buried together. Through baptism into death, just as Christos was raised from the dead by glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. If we have been united together, shimpitos. King James say planted together, New King James united together. It is a beginning to the end process if we go to the dictionary 4854. You see, grown along with. Shin, which is together. Putos. Putos is the germinate or grow. When you go to the Thayer dictionary, born together, joint origin, which means Christos Jesus is born inside me. And then grow together. And then united together. Those whole processing. In the likeness of his death, certainly we also shall be in the likeness of his resurrection. So born of Jesus, crucifixion of Jesus, resurrection of Jesus, I am living in the presence of Christos Jesus in the 7th day. It happening spiritual process. That's why Bible is the spiritual book. It happened to all those elders we saw from the New Testament, Hebrew chapter 11. That has to be happen in my life. If my goal of living is in the heaven instead of in the earth. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him. Body of sin might be done away with it. that we should be no longer slaves of sin. But whoever eating the green herb for food, the goal of living of the earth, when we coming down, little down, verse 12, do not let sin reign in your mortal body, that you should obey in it its lust. Then you are not in the heavenly body, you are in your mortal body. Then whose reign? Instead of you become a body of Christos, the sin reigned. Sin is your king. And we are the slaves of sin. Genesis 1:29 that we are studying here. And the Hayat is translated as the beast, which is the goal of living. For the beast, when we go to the Hebrew, the beast is Darion. Let's go to the dictionary. The strong number is the 2342. Darion is the dangerous animal, but King James translated as beast. When you go to the Thayer dictionary, an animal, wild beast, beast. Metaphor is the brutal, bestial man, savage, ferocious. So this one translated as the beast in the New Testament Bible. Obviously, this beast is also goal of living of the earth. When we go to the Titus, New Testament Bible, verse 12, chapter 1, verse 12, is talking about one of them, prophet of their own, said, Cretans. Because here it says, whose mouth must be stopped. Because from the mouth either comes out the Holy Spirit or the unclean demon spirit is in it. So mouth is very important. What we comes out from my mouth is the thing what we ate. Because the stopped mouth, when we go to the book of Revelation chapter 16, we already went there many times. And he talking about when 6 boar pour out on boar, the great river Euphrates is dried up, right? And the way of king from the east might be prepared. In order for me to become the king, to meet Christos Jesus, the great Euphrates has to be dried up in my 6th day. When we go to the book of Genesis chapter 2, the living water start from the Eden and water the garden, and it divide. Pishon, Gihon, Hittegel, Euphrates, which is right here. We were drinking the water from the Euphrates. We were drinking the water from the Pishon and Gihon and Hittegel. Those all water has to be dry up because those water is the spirit of what? Unclean spirit. Those water is the what? Spirit of demons. Instead of drinking the water that comes from the Eden. The water also showing the chapter 22, Revelation, he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear crystal proceeding from where? Throne of God and throne of Lamb. And then we see the tree of life is drinking that water of life. Then tree is what? Producer of knowledge. An advisor. So, life advisor, producing the life by drinking the water of life, comes from the throne of God, throne of the Lamb, which is in the Genesis chapter 2. That is the Eden. So, go back to the Titus again. 1:12 and 11, we just went to mouth must be stopped. And go back again, the book of Revelation chapter 16. So when the Euphrates dry up, until the Euphrates not dry up, 3 unclean spirit, right? Like a frog coming out of what? Mouth of dragon. That has to be stopped. Mouth of the beast. That has to be stopped. Mouth of the false prophet. That has to be stopped. Because they are the spirit of demons. Then from the mouth, what is coming? Spirit is coming. Then when I having the Spirit of the God, which is the Holy Spirit, then life-giving Spirit comes out from my mouth, which is the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God, perfect man's mouth. Until that time, whoever's goal of living of the earth, they are nothing but to receive, whether they like it or not, mouth of dragon, mouth of the beast, mouth of the false prophet, which is my one day through the 5th day process. They only understand Jesus was born 2025 years ago. And he was born in the 2025 years ago, crucified, resurrected, went to the heaven. Whoever saying, understanding the Bible in that way, what mouth do they have? What food do they eat? Did they eat? Oh, they are eating the knowledge from the unclean spirit, mouth of dragon, mouth of the beast, mouth of the false prophet. And then we are fighting the battle, which is a spiritual warfare. By eating what food? Like we just say, lion becomes man when consumed by man. And cursed is the man whom the lion consumed. The lion becomes man. The death devour me or the life devour me. It is the eating process. Genesis 1:29 and Genesis 1:30 that we are studying right now. So go back to the Titus, chapter 1. Then mouth must be stopped. And then here, Cretans are always liar. The lie has to be stopped. Because lie comes from the mouth of the dragon, mouth of the beast, mouth of the false prophet. That's why here it says, evil beast. They locate the Cretans. If you look at the right side here, Cretes. You see here, Cres. In English says Cretians. This is a Cres. Cres is the one comes from the verb, which is the krino. Krino means to judge. When we go to the 29:19, separate, put asunder, pick out, select. Krino. Krino means to judge. English translate the judge in many places. This is a krino. From this verb, Cretans, which is a cres, is made as a noun. And who is the one to be judged? Oh, they are the one, goal of living of the earth. Who is eating the green earth? They are the one who is not believing into Christos Jesus. When we go to the John chapter 3, The famous verse, we already see that. God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, that the world through him might be saved. He who, we correct this one, believing into him, which is a ace, is not condemned. But he who does not believing is condemned already. He has not believed into the name of the only begotten Son. You see here? Krino. Judged. English translate condemned. But the parsing code is a VIRP. Verb, indicative, present perfect, passive. So, kretan, which is the crate, they have been judged because they are not believing into Christos Jesus. They are remaining God of living of the earth. Go back again, Titus 1:12. They are always liars, right? Who are the liars? We already went to John chapter 8, verse 44, right? John chapter 8, verse 44. And then Jesus say, why do you not understand my speech? Because the mouth of Christos Jesus, Spirit of the God, is coming out from his mouth, right? This is when we go to the 663 in the John, it is a spirit who gives life. The flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak to you, from the mouth of Christos Jesus, the words coming out, that is what? Spirit. We just look at that book of Revelation 16. Mouth of dragon, mouth of beast, mouth of false prophet. They are the spirit of demon, unclean spirit. But the Christos Jesus speak the words coming from his mouth, Spirit of God, which is the Holy Spirit. And they are life, which is the God's life, resurrection life. So he's trying to give that Spirit of God, he's trying to give the life of the God by speaking these words. But chapter 8, chapter 8, 43, why do you not understand my speech? I am trying to give you life. I'm trying to give you spirit. Because you are not able to listen to my word. They have a ear to listen, but they are not willing to listen. They already set their mind already, right? When you showing the Greek Bible, Hebrew Bible, try to showing them, fourth and fifth day, Christian who only hearing from the mouth of dragon, mouth of serpent, mouth of false prophet. Jesus was born 2025 years ago, crucified and resurrect, went to the heaven. And then we still waiting for it. We don't know when it's coming back. People who only their knowledge, who heard from the mouth of beast, mouth of serpent, mouth of false prophet, even though you show those Bible verses, we just show crucified together, resurrect together, he is born inside you. He was in the Abraham, he was in the Abel, he was in the Moses, all those Bible verses we just saw, they are not going to listen to our words. That is not coming from my physical mouth. That comes from the mouth of the God that we are delivering. That means their father is who? Their father is the only true God. You are of your father, the devil. You are the one curses the man. Because the devil and Satan, lion, consumes you. The desire of your father you want to do. That's why when we go to the New Testament chapter 7, heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. What house will you build for me? I become the house of God. I become the heavenly house. But they do not understand my speech. They are not able to listen to my word. Because they already set their mind already. We can come back there, New Testament chapter 7, when Isaiah prophet says, heaven is my throne, earth is my footstool. What house will you build for me, say the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? God has to rest inside you when you become a seventh-day man. But you stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears. They are not willing to listen. Not only that happened to the Apostle Paul, to those all apostles, it is happening in this age. So go back to the New Testament, John chapter 8. That's why your father is the devil. You are hearing of the mouth of serpent. You are hearing of the mouth of dragon. You are hearing from the mouth of false prophet. He's the murderer. By providing the biblical knowledge that they learn from the another Jesus, different spirit, different gospel. We went there, 2 Corinthians chapter 11. And he does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. They are using the Bible verses, but they are teaching that Bible verses and commandment as the man's lesson, man's wisdom. Keep the Bible as the man's tradition. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources. All different types of customs, ritual, religious ceremony. Those are the copy and shadow. He's a liar. The father of it. Because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Stauros Bible Academy proclaim the truth of the God. My spiritual growing process. All Bible is a spiritual God. We understand Father, God, the Son, Christos Jesus, who is in me from my beginning. But you do not believe me. Jesus said that. Go back to that Titus 1:12. So liar. Also evil beast. Then evil beast is the evil means same thing, God of living of the earth instead of the heaven. We just look at the book of Revelation chapter 16. That evil beast comes out of the sea. That's why the Euphrates is dry up, right? And then when I become the new Jerusalem, new heaven and earth, there is no more sea. Which means earthly knowledge, worldly knowledge is all dry up. That comes from the sea. Dragon lives in the sea. And also from the dragon, the beast also coming out of the sea. When we go to the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, I stood on the sand of the sea. I saw what? Beast rising up out of the sea. This evil beast coming out of the sea. Distributing the water. The water is the spirit. The spirit is the speech and the mouth of the God, mouth of the dragon, mouth of the beast, mouth of the false prophet. So this evil beast coming, rising out of the sea. He has a 7 head, 10 horns. All those number has to understand as the meaning. We already learned that, right? He swear head. He got rich horn, rich power, and 10 crowns. And then on his head a blasphemous name, right? When we coming down, little down, they worship the dragon. Which is the beast to worship the dragon? We just look at that, right? When Euphrates dry up, dragon, beast, false prophet. So beast worship dragon. And dragon is give the what? Authority to the beast. Senior pastor give the authority to the assistant pastor. That's what it means. Assistant pastor give the authority to their elders in the church. The elders of the church give the authority to their deacons. All the way to exercise the command to the subordinate, the member of the church. What are they doing? They worship the beast. Who is like the beast? Who is able to make a war with him? Who is able to resist him? Who is able to stand him? We just look at that, right? When we go to the 1 Peter chapter 5. Be sober, be vigilant. Your adversary, the devil, walks like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Resist him. Steady fast in the faith, knowing that the same suffering are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. This is the spiritual warfare that is happening inside me, that also happen externally when I preaching the gospel of peace. In order for you to resist and steady fast in the faith against the adversary and devil, you have to become what? Elders. Growing from the youth, younger people. So go back to the book of Revelation chapter 13. So he received the authority from the dragon. And then his mouth is speaking, right? And then he opened his mouth. Unclean spirit, right? And then liar. So not only beast, when he coming out of the sea and the authority given by the dragon, he also gives his authority to another beast. When you coming down, I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. So like I just say, exercise authority from the dragon, beast out of the sea, beast out of the earth. Because they all coming down from where? My heaven, right? We already learned Michael, who's like God. 6th day, Michael messenger showing up, sound the 7th trumpet. The God that you believe is the true God. Then 2 heavens becomes the 1 heaven. We already learned about that. He had 2 horns like a lamb. Christos Jesus is the lamb also, right? He's acting like a lamb. And he also spoke like a dragon, because mouth of dragon, mouth of beast, mouth of the false prophet, right? When you coming down, he is giving the mark. Here, he causes all, both the small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, receive what? Mark. Mark of the beast. On their right hand or on their forehead. When we going down to chapter 14, we have a mark also, right? 144,000, right? We already learned meaning of 144,000 in the Hebrew means in the number. They are the one father's name written on their forehead, right? But here, they are not receiving the 144,000. They are receiving what? 666, right? So, then mark is on their right hand or on their forehead. And no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast. They are the one who is what? Their goal of living of the earth. They are the one buy and sell green earth for food. Not the herb sowing seed, fruit of tree sowing seed, the tree of life. Or the number of his name, here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast. The number of the beast is what? Number of a man. Man is the beast, beast is the man. We're just learning that, right? Man is the lion, lion is the man, right? Receiving the liar, father of devil, who is not able to understand the Christos Jesus speech. Uncircumcised in their heart, uncircumcised in their ears, because their goal of living of the earth instead of goal of living of the heaven. The number is the 666. If you go to my YouTube channel, one of them I explained the meaning of the 666, which means 6 is the crossover, right? But this is the annihilate, destroy fully, because they believe the lie. That's why their conclusion is when they go to the 17, the beast that you saw was, if you look at the was, you see here, we just look at that John chapter 1 verse 1. Verb, indicative, imperfect, which is an imperfect belief. What is an imperfect belief? Born of Jesus, crucifixion of Jesus, resurrection of Jesus happening 2025 years ago. But we don't know when is he coming back. It is an imperfect faith. That comes from where? The beast. And then is not means not present. All those things has to be happen in my present life. And then they will thrown into the lake of fire eventually, right? When we go to the 1920. The beast was captured, with him the false prophet who worked sign in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast, those who worship his image. These two were cast alive into the lake of burning with brimstone. So go back to the Titus 1:12. That's the evil beast, right? Lazy glutton. Look at the lazy. Agros. I is the negative. Gross is the work. Workless. When you go to the dictionary 692, inactive, unemployed, lazy, useless. But G1 alpha is the negative particle. 2041 is what? Toil, which means work. Workless. He is not able to working of the God. Workless. He's not able to do the God's work. And who is the one who's doing the work of the God? Good work. Man of the God, right? when we go to the 2 Timothy 3:17, the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work. But the lion, evil beast living, and he is not able to do the God's work, good work, which is the life-giving spirit. So 6th day is like this. Am I going to eat which food? But Genesis 1:30 is the one goal of living of the earth. They were remaining in the earth instead of remaining in the heaven. And their food is the green herb. Next class, we are going to study from number 2.